not really expanded beyond the elites. So it's a very limited democracy, if any at all. So you basically, a big continuity here is going to be monarchy, top-down governance. Okay, these are the political concepts. The cultural concepts are going to be the blending. The cultural concepts are going to be the blending and the spread or acceptance of the religions in each of the respective regions. And I'll say it again. Rome moves from animism to the acceptance of Christianity. Han replaces Qin dynasty legalism with Han dynasty Confucianism. Gupta has to deal with an existing caste system from Hindu principles to now the spread of Buddhism. How is that going to play out? So changes and continuities in one of the civilizations. One of the civilizations. And I want you to be using these words. One more minute on this thesis. And time, wherever you are. Time. I know some of you came in a little bit later than the 2:52 mark when we started, but, 5 minutes on that thesis is really your benchmark on game day, okay? That being said, what do we always do? What's the process so we know how to fish? We go straight to the source. This level paper is a level 8 paper. Please look at this thesis. Tell me you can't do better. And this is a level 8 paper. The decline of the Gupta Empire at the end of the classical era was not as drastic as the fall of the Roman Empire in the Mediterranean. Important social and cultural aspects of Indian society survived late into the post-classical era and continue to shape life in the region. I'm pretty sure we as a group here at North can do better than that. This is a level 8. I don't see, however, although I see changes and continuities within the thesis, and that's what the rubric requires. I want to see a show of hands. Who or what can we do to make this better? Who has an idea? How do we make this better? Tell me what to add and where, Sebastiano. Go ahead.
Well, you can add like one of those statements, like you said, however or although, like just anywhere. Like they put the
Not just anywhere.
They put the sentence, but they didn't put however or although or before the sentence started.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. In order to score a point on a CCOT rubric completely, where is the continuity specifically mentioned? Where is the continuity specifically mentioned in this piece, in this thesis? Nick, please tell me.
Important social and cultural aspects of Indian society survived in the late post-classical era and continued to shape life in the region.
This. You okay back there?
Yeah.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a body paragraph. I want to talk to you about structure. That statement becomes essentially a topic statement in the body paragraph. So there should be no guesswork when you're running through. I know, and I want you to think about this. On May 16th, somewhere around 9:30 in the morning, your mind might be a little stretched and a little tired after doing 70 multiple choice questions in 55 minutes. You want to make your life easy when you're writing. So structurally, here's your continuity, and that's going to be one of your body paragraphs. What I'm underlining is the change, right? You're going to score the point. You have to show the reader the green and the red. Guess what? Structurally, that's going to be the start of a body paragraph. I need you to see this. I need you to understand this. I need this to be abundantly clear. The thesis is the map. It shows the reader where to go. And a change in continuity thesis is different than a DBQ thesis, because you have to specifically state both. Okay, and now we know what? For balance purposes, now we know there has to be 2 or 3 specific pieces of evidence to show that the decline of the Gupta Empire was not as drastic as the fall of the Mediterranean Roman Empire. Now I want to talk to you about this green piece. What is a specific piece of evidence that we in this group know? What is a specific piece of evidence that could support this thesis? Before we even scroll down, what do you think this person put down here? What's a specific piece of evidence? I need this to come from you. Did Carlos?
Well, I know that reading the textbook, it said that it would exist through name.
What would exist through name? Get rid of the pronouns and say the specific. Thank you.
Gupta, even though it fell, that it still exists. The Gupta Empire still exists through name. So we're trying to say that even though there may not be a physical representation of them, there was abstract.
And give me a specific piece of evidence that shows Gupta continuity in the post-classical era. You are correct. He is correct. There was a Gupta fingerprint, shall we say, left on India after they fell. But how?
You could say they made strides. In one way, you could say they made strides in mathematics, and made strides in mathematics that they developed the term of zero.
Okay, there you go. That's it. Done. Do you understand that? From a golden age perspective, from that, their imprint was left because of their more scientific and mathematical concepts that they left. Their imprint, their fingerprint was left on the region, and that's one specific piece of evidence that supports this thesis. So Carlos, great job. Red, important social and cultural aspects of Indian society survived into the post-classical era and continue to shape life in the region. Okay, I think Carlos, you actually gave us stuff for that. Can somebody give me a piece of perhaps Roman evidence that showed that the Romans had a drastic fall? Patrick?
Well, you mean like, they switched to Christianity,
Yes?
so that's a drastic change to when they started to rise.
Okay, fine. Talk to me.
But the fall, wasn't that more of like how they were totally eliminated, where the Gupta became just another different government power?
Okay, good. And did you pick up in the reading so far? Who eliminated the Romans completely?
I skipped a minute, but it's like a pastoral.
They were a pastoral group, but what was their name? They were just Germanic tribes we can go with, yes? Germanic tribes. Rishi, what do you remember?
Under Roman rule, trade along the Silk Road was very controlled and it was protected, but after the fall of the Roman Empire, trade routes were no longer as protected, so that allowed more pirates and thieves to travel along the trade routes, which caused a decline in the number of merchants traveling on the roads.
Good. And also, it cuts down the material and non-material exchanges interregionally. Carlos, what else is on your mind with this?
Kind of like adding to the fact that they had civil wars, the assassination of Julius Caesar and the Gracchi brothers.
And the Gracchi, good, you remember
Also,
that.
and adding on to the pastoral race, like with all that happening to them, it just was too much for them to take on.
It was. It was. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to come up in a second. Billy, what's your thought here?
Well, it says towards the bottom of the red, it said life in this region. Could you say how it was different because the Romans impacted more out of their, like people out of their region, the east and west?
Good.
But,
So, Roman cultural,
like architecture and stuff like that.
beautiful. Good. So, that's a long-lasting cultural impact, right?
Yeah.
That's a continuity over time. Oh, I haven't got to you yet. What's up?
Like the Romans, their cities, building cities, a lot of people lived in the cities.
Yes?
So when the Romans fell, that's what sort of sparked the Dark Ages because people had to run away from the cities and go to the countryside because of the mountains.
I hope you got that. Mediterranean fall, there's a reason why historians use the term Dark Ages. It was more drastic in that respect, and she's supporting that drastic Roman fall by actually citing the Middle Ages as the quote-unquote Dark Ages. That's a specific piece of evidence that's going to help you score. I bring up this blank tabula rasa because I want to talk to you about writing structure. I know this is AP World. I'm not turning this into a grammar or writing class, but if nobody's ever told you this before or shown you this before, allow me to be the first, please. When you write properly for history, you write in the shape of an hourglass. I know this sounds terribly abstract, but I want you to think about why this could make sense. You start off with a broad idea. The fall of the Gupta was less drastic than the Mediterranean. Big idea. Start broad. When you cite your specific pieces of evidence, that's where the hourglass gets narrow. So you're going to go broad thesis, narrow, specific content. Excuse me. Let me do this. There should be absolutely no confusion. There should be absolutely no confusion when you are writing body paragraphs, when you are constructing essays. You start off broad, either via the thesis or through an appropriate topic sentence. On almost every rubric, but the CCOT specifically, you need to hit specific content, and then at the end of your paragraph, you need to tell the reader how the specific content, two things, how the specific content not only supports the thesis, but how this specific content impacted the region or interregional or the world, depending on what time frame you are writing about. So when you're writing, I want to take the guesswork out of it for you. You're always going to write in the same pattern, in the same structure, so there's no stress for you. For some of us, this is going to be the first AP exam that we've ever taken. The first college-level, semi-professional, real deal, a test that can actually save you real money in the real world. There's going to be some pressure associated with this, and I want us to just recognize this and deal with this as a fact in hand. I want you to go in there with a game plan. Any successful professional has a game plan. This is the pattern in which you write. Okay? I don't want to take away. I'm going to leave up for one more until it turns to 3:09. Ask me questions about this. Does this seem crazy to you? Questions? I'm open to them. Damien, go.
When you said, how did this impact the world, do you mean like today?
It could impact today, sure. You want to talk about different time frames? You can happily do that. Part of expanded core rubric scoring asks you to show how the impact went beyond just the realm of the and scope of the question. So if this question is all about classical age, and you can actually make a mention for post-classical or foundational period, you're going to show and potentially score another expanded core point. It's always there for you. Oh, you had a question as well. Yes, every major empire becomes a center of money. Oh, you guys are back for it. You killed it. You guys destroyed it. You have no idea. That, by the way, last year, our test, it was basically the hardest one out of every single. Did Moniachi tell you?
It was.
It was the lowest mean average. We scored the lowest mean. 210,000 people. The average was 2.6. We had the hardest test last year, and you guys crushed it. Crushed it. I'm so glad to see you guys. You guys rock. So, any other questions? Got calls? Let me get to you.
How does this impact the regional world? That would be more than conclusion, right?
It'd be 2.
Yes. Now, guys, before I step away from this page, this shape applies to the overall essay, but this shape also applies to the individual body paragraphs. So not only does the whole big picture have to flow in this shape, the body paragraphs have to hit this shape too. I want this absolutely perfectly clear. Okay? Enough said. I want to go back. Last thing I'm gonna do with you is I wanna show you this.
This is two.
Okay,
This is into power.
the thesis I wanna move beyond, I wanna look at these 2 points today, before we have to get out of here. Addresses all parts of the question. That includes a change in continuity. Notice what you have to do. Think about what we're going over right now. Ask me questions about point number 2, so you are abundantly clear. Ask me anything about point number 2. Open forum, open floor. Nick, talk to me.
It says site 2 to 3. Is 3 expanded core or no?
Yes.
It is?
Yes. 2 is basic. I always want to leave you the option to do a touch more. Notice that it's 2 and 3 for the changes, 2 and 3. You always want to strive for balance. Isn't an hourglass shape and balance? If you're going to put 2 for one,
Ladies
put
and
2
gentlemen, this is
together.
the final call for
Lovely.
senior high spring sports. Sign up, please get to the gym. Thank you.